All right, let's jump right in. Today we're doing something a little different. We're going to tear down a real internal strategy memo from a company to figure out how they're fixing one of the most painful problems in any business, the leaky sales pipeline. So let's get into it.
You know this feeling, right? You spend all this time, all this money, all this energy to get people interested, only for so many of them to just vanish into thin air. It feels like you're just pouring water into a bucket full of holes. But what if the problem isn't the water you're pouring in?
And this is the huge mental shift in this memo. It stops blaming the quality of the leads and starts looking real hard at the quality of the process. It's a total game changer because it puts the control right back in your hands.
And this quote, man, it just nails the entire philosophy. This isn't about being pushy or aggressive. It's about being the stable, reliable guide for the customer. In a big, complicated sale, the person who wins is the one who makes the customer feel safe and keeps the ball moving forward.
Okay, so let's really dig into what this memo calls the leaky revenue problem. This is where all our good intentions crash right into a very harsh reality.
Yeah, this chart, it's kind of painful to look at, isn't it? But it's the truth for so many companies. You put in all this work to generate 100% of your leads over here. But then, way over on the other side is the tiny little bar of deals you actually closed. That giant canyon in the middle, that's not just a missed opportunity. That's what the memo calls leaking revenue.
And boom, this quote from the memo just lays it all out. The problem isn't that you don't have enough chances to win, it's a lack of consistency. When your follow-up is totally random and nurturing is something you'll get to later, you're not just losing money, you're actively letting it walk right out the door. All right, we get it. There's a leak. But why? What's actually happening when a good, seemingly interested lead just ghosts you? Well, the memo has a really crucial insight on this.
Okay, listen to this because this is probably the most important insight in the whole document. When someone's making a big decision, like buying a pool, which is what this memo was about, they almost never call you up and say, hey, we've decided to pass. No. What really happens is life happens, they get busy, they get unsure, the momentum dies, and they just drift away. Silence is the default ending.
So, what's the solution? How do you fight back against that silent drift? Well, it's not with more wishful thinking or just trying harder. You fight it with a better system. And this slide just shows the difference so clearly. On one side, you've got good intentions, things like follow up soon. So vague, right? Impossible to measure. But on the other side, you have an operating system. It's precise, it's repeatable. It turns I'll try to call them back into on day 0, we will call, text, and email, and we will set a next step. It's a shift from just hoping to actually engineering a result. So, this entire operating system, it's built on 5 key pillars. Think of these as the fundamental rules of the game that stop those deals from going cold. Here they are. First up, speed, because you gotta be fast. Then, multi-channel contact, because nobody just answers the phone anymore, right? Third is momentum. This is the big one, the engine. Fourth, nurturing, for all the not right now folks. And finally, measurement, so you actually know what's working and what isn't. Okay, so of all those pillars, the memo basically screams that momentum is king. And the one tool to rule them all is this idea, the next step date. The rule is simple, and it's absolutely non-negotiable. No lead can just sit there without a future scheduled action item attached to it. No excuses, period. End of story. But okay, what happens if you don't? What's the big deal if a sales rep forgets or gets busy and doesn't set that next step?
Well, the answer is simple, and it's brutal. Momentum just dies. Poof! The prospect, who's got a million other things going on, just drifts. And the deal isn't lost to a competitor who had a better offer. It's lost to nothing. It's lost to inertia. This is the silent killer, and that next update is the antidote.
All right, theory's great, but what does this actually look like in the trenches? What does a sales team do every single day? Let's get into the actual plays from the memo. First up, you have the new lead blitz. Now, this isn't about being annoying. It's a super structured 14-day plan with one single goal. Get a response. Start a conversation. Notice how it's call, text, and email right from day 0. It's all about being professionally persistent until they're ready to talk. Okay, now pay attention to this, because according to this memo, this is the black hole where most deals go to die. That silent period after you send the proposal. The prospect goes quiet, the salesperson feels awkward. This system fixes that.
It gives them a clear playbook of value-added reasons to call, from simply confirming they got it to offering to review it with them.
And inside that plan, there's this one line, honestly, it's a killer move. This line, right here. Just imagine saying that to a prospect. See what that does? You immediately change the game. You're not just a salesperson anymore. You're their trusted advisor, their expert consultant who's on their side. It's brilliant.
So when you put this all together, this whole system, the real win isn't just closing a few more deals here and there. It's about getting something way, way bigger. It's about getting control. See, a system gives you data, and data, on a simple scorecard like this one, tells you exactly what's going on. I mean, look at this. Rep A is a beast at making initial contact, but their deals are dying after the proposal. Rep B is the total opposite. They struggle to get people on the phone, but when they do, they close. You now have two completely different and very specific coaching conversations to have. No more guesswork.
And that's the whole point, right? The system doesn't just plug the leaky bucket, it shines a giant spotlight on where the holes are. You go from managing by feelings and guesswork to being a coach with a precise, data-driven plan. You stop asking, why aren't we selling more? And you start asking, how can we get better at turning proposals into closed deals?
So, let's bring this home. This whole breakdown was about a company that sells pools, but you and I know this applies to pretty much everything. So the real question for you is, where's your biggest revenue leak? Where are you just hoping for the best? And what is your system, not your hope, not your intention, but your system to go and fix it?